So now we're going to take a look at our point of sale application. So the point of sale application runs locally at the store and relies on its own database. So if your internet goes out when you're offline, everything runs smoothly. So the first screen is the login screen. So from here you can log in using the keypad, fingerprint, or scan card. So to log in using the keypad, I would enter my user ID and password. Once logged in, I'm taken to the cashier home screen. Here we have three modules: the time clock, to-do lists, and messages. The time clock allows you to clock in, out, as well as view your current schedule. The to-do list shows a mixture of to-dos such as mop, sweep, as well as system to-dos like print these labels, perform this spot check, or cycle count. The messages is our intercompany email replacement. It allows you to send messages to corporate or a specific employee at corporate. To create a message, I would just simply choose create, and then from there enter a subject and message just like I would with the email, and then choose is it going to a single person or all of corporate. The heart of the point of sale is the register application. To open the register, I choose Open POS, and then from here I'm taken to the main register. So the main register is comprised of panels and buttons. You can have an unlimited amount of panels and 66 buttons within each panel, giving you unlimited customization. So all the buttons are permission-based, meaning that if you don't want the cashier to access that function, they simply can't see it. The majority of items you sell in your store are going to scan. So to begin a sale, I simply scan the item. At this point, any activity such as age verification is going to pop up for the cashier to perform. If there's none, the item is added to the sale, like this item. To sell multiple quantities of the item, I would enter in the quantity I want to sell and then scan the item. At this point on the top left, we have a running total showing the item count as well as the current balance due. If this is all the customers purchasing, you can go to the subtotal panel. At this point, enter method of payment. To split payments, you would just enter in the first payments. For instance, if the customer owes us $24 and they want to give us $10 in cash and put the rest on a credit card, we would enter the cash first. We can use the quick cash keys on the left or enter the value they want to give us and then press cash. In this case, after paying the $10, they still have a balance of $14.21. Now we choose the secondary payment method. We'll choose $14.21, check. At this point, the sale is over and the drawer will open, and if any change due is required, it'll be shown. To sell an item that doesn't scan, you have several options. A cashier can look up the item using the Find Item button. From here, I can search by things like description, UPC, vendor part, etc. It's going to return a list of items matching that search result. From here, I can choose one or several items to sell. When I sell an item that requires age verification, the system is going to prompt me with three options. I can tell the system that the customer is old enough by touching visually verified. I can manually enter in the customer's birth date using the date time picker, or I can scan the customer's license. Scanning license is usually the preferred method, as not only does it keep the cashier safe, it also allows you to earn AVT points and rewards from your Altria program. It's going to do two things. It's going to verify the age if you're scanning an age-sensitive item, as well as look the customer up in our loyalty program. So let's take a look at that. So here I'm scanning the age-sensitive item. It's prompting me to do something. If I scan the customer's license, it's going to verify it for age as well as look them up for loyalty. So in this case, I'm already a member of the loyalty program, so it's going to add me to the sale, as you can see by the indication on the left side. If I was not a member of loyalty, it would verify my age, but then prompt the cashier, hey, do you want to add this customer to loyalty? At that point, it's a great opportunity to sell the customer on your loyalty program. From here, you can continue with the sale as normal. And if the customer's earned any loyalty rewards, they'll show up on the receipt. To manually look up a customer for loyalty, I could choose the customer icon. At this point, it's going to prompt me for the phone number. You can also push the phone number prompt down to the credit card terminal for the customer to enter it themselves. If you want to do a more advanced lookup and you have the permission to, you can choose the search tab. From here, you can look them up by first name, last name, license number. Also, based on your permissions, if a customer's been manually looked up, you can restrict redemptions from happening. This allows you to make sure that the customer is actually in the store whenever a redemption happens and a cashier is just not going rogue and borrowing their points. To add a customer, you would simply choose the customer icon and new. From there, you can scan the customer's license and it's going to pre-fill out some pertinent information such as first name, last name, address, city, state, zip. Therefore, at that point, all you're asking the customer is for their phone number and email address and if they want to participate in marketing. Other functions such as void, no sale, and cancel sale are permission-based. However, we log that activity and it's available in the negative cashier report. Another alternative to looking up the item if the item doesn't scan is to put buttons on the screen for the items. You can have a complete panel of buttons as displayed here, which when I press newspapers, it takes me to the new panel showing all my newspapers. Or you can add multiple items to one button as displayed here under lighters. When I touch lighters, it asks me which one to sell. Choose the item, that lighter's added to the sale. The same quantity keys apply to those. So if a customer wanted to buy 10 lighters, I would simply choose the quantity before I ring up the lighters. So to cancel a sale, I simply touch cancel, and based on your settings, it's going to prompt for a reason. I can enter my reason and touch OK. At that point, that sale is over. To void an item that's already on the sale, I would choose the void sale, choose the item I want to void, and then void it off. Void last item is just going to void the very last item that was added to the sale. To sell lottery tickets, generally, customers are going to put those on their own panel or assign them to a specific department. In our case, we have a lottery panel. Within that lottery panel, I have the quick picks. So here I can choose the $1 or 50-cent quick pick. If the customer wants multiple ones, I can use the same multiplier keys. So if they want to buy 10, I can choose the 10. On the payout side, very similar. I would enter in the amount they won and then allow them to get paid for that. And I can enter in a description, or you can hard code in descriptions such as lotto or scratch. On returning items, there are several options. You can return from a receipt or you can manually return. To return from a receipt, I simply choose return from receipt and scan the receipt. It's going to show all the items that are on the sale. I choose which the customer are returning. To manually return, I would choose the manual return option, and the items then could be scanned or added to the sale just like normal. To check the price of an item, I would choose price check and then either scan or manually look up the item. So from here, it's going to show me all the information about the item, how many is on hand, the cost, the price with tax, if the item's on any buy downs or discounts. If the customer decides to proceed with the purchase, I can just simply touch add to sale. That item's added to the sale. We also have a closed loop gift card module. What we mean by closed loop is that there's no third party. You control the entire environment, which means you don't pay any third party processing fees every time a gift card is sold or redeemed. You can either use a license, roll and save app, or buy third party gift cards which have a QR code or barcode on the back. As long as it's a unique identifier, we can handle it. After a shift, a cashier is going to perform a register Z. Based on settings and permissions, either a single chit's going to print out with no information or an entire receipt showing all the sales data. From there, they're going to do a shift reconciliation. That reconciliation is going to compare what they say they have versus what the system expected them to have, and then optionally show the variance. A shift reconciliation is then combined later with a daily reconciliation, giving you an overall view of how the day ended up. To perform a payout or pay-in, you would simply choose which one you want to perform, enter in the amount, and then optionally a description. At that point, the drawer will open and the pay-in or payout is complete. To perform a safe drop, touch the safe drop button, enter the safe drop amount, and then optionally a description, and then the safe drop's complete. One of our marketing modules is called Uplifts, and Uplifts is a way to gamify discounts, promotions to make them more fun. So when an item is on an uplift and it's sold, it's going to pop up a script to the cashier as well as push a display to the customer, informing them of the promotion. So let's look at it in action. So if we look at this uplift, all these items here will trigger it. And what we're trying to get the customer to do is to know that there's a sale on similar items. So we are going to sell one of these items. As you can see, when the item's sold, the cashier's presented a script. We've also gamified it by making the button say win and lose instead of OK and cancel. The marketing team has also prepared special promotional images which are pushed out to the customer. In this case, I, as a cashier, am going to earn 50 cents if I can get this customer to try Cuban rounds today. Thanks for your interest in our point of sale. We just touched the tip of the iceberg here. To find out more about this module and all our other great modules, find us online. Thanks again for watching.